Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your commissioner, Matt Pearson, here with your fantasy football power rankings for Week 5. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, hope you all had a great weekend. Great week of fantasy football. We had a lot of scoring this week, so a lot of, defenses kind of being put on the spot, a lot of changes. And this week, new to the league, ladies and gentlemen, we also went with a new coaches poll. This was where me as the commissioner, I sent out a poll to all of the owners, and they sent me back with their personal rankings, and that's what this week's power rankings are going to be based off of. Now, two members of the league, the Air Raiders and Team Whataburger, failed to comply, and obviously, any third party would deem that their ballots were not accurate, so they've been removed from this week's power rankings, just calculated without those two scores in there, because they were turning some rankings, and I know these mean a lot to everybody, so really don't want that sort of negligence involved in this. Expect it from Team Whataburger. Kind of ashamed of the Air Raiders, though, for stooping to his level. So let's get right into it, and I'll kind of explain as we're going through how exactly these rankings were calculated. So starting off, I'll just say that so out of the possible 7 places that you can be, so I excluded each owner from his own ballot. So there are 7 possible places. You would get 7 points for you get 1 point for each place you are. So if you're first, you get 1 point. If you're 7th, you get 7 points. That number, all of your rankings are added up and then subtracted from 35 minus that number will give you your score out of 30. So if you got all first place votes, you'd get a 30 because it'd be 35 minus 5 because we had 5 people, Cody and Riley out of it, minus yourself would be 8 minus 3, which is 5 people. So if you had all 7s, if you came in 7th place every time, that would be 35 points and you'd have 0. So the scale is from 30 to 0, 30 being the highest you can score and 0 being the lowest. And I could release the ballots, the official ballots, if that's something that we want. Please let me know in the comments below. So we'll just get right into it. We have tied for 7th. We have Team Whataburger with a score of 2. Team Whataburger this week kind of ran into a freight train in Team Dunkin. Team Dunkin scored 192, which is the second most points scored in the league this year. Team Whataburger, though, did put up 145, would have beaten, I'm checking right now, ladies and gentlemen, he wouldn't have beat anybody who won this week because, we had, like I said, high point totals all around. But again, allowing 192 points to Team Dunkin, not a great look for Team Whataburger's defense. 0-4. I mean, I'm hearing the crickets, ladies and gentlemen. You've seen it on the sports talk radios. A lot of people have been wondering, was last year a fluke? People have been wondering that since week 1. But I think at 0-4, it's easy to say that Team Whataburger, Cody Coons, is not good at fantasy football. Kind of has this 8th spot on lock. I guess he's tied for 7th this week, not 8th. So next, we have Team McGee, also with 2 points. And also 0-4. Team McGee this week ran into Leroy Jenkins. Team McGee had been complaining earlier that, maybe his team hadn't gotten a fair shake and that he was better than his 0-4 record. But allowing 180 points to Team Leroy, that's not going to get it done. You're not a team that's going to make it very far, Team McGee. I'm sorry to tell you. Even scoring 130, like I said, this week was a great week for everybody, but, I guess you just picked a wrong matchup. So We have Team McGee at number 7, tied for 7 with Team Whataburger. Significant jump, as you can see in a lot of these ballots. Team McGee and Team Whataburger were 6th and 7th, so they, kind of trading that spot off. Next, we have Team Taco Mac with 11 points. Last week, 5th, so moving down 1 this week. He got absolutely obliterated by Ryan's Steakhouse. Actually lost by over 100 points. That's quite a beatdown. Team Taco Mac, really not a lot of production just anywhere on his team. I mean, I'm looking at it, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know. We didn't leave anybody on the bench. Just not a great week for Team Taco Mac. Absolutely destroyed. And 1 and 3 is going to put you at number 6. I mean, I'm sorry, Greg, but that's just how it's going to be. Number 5, we have the Air Raiders. Falling last week from the perch at number 4, just down 1 spot. Not too big of a deal. The Air Raiders this week had a great matchup, had an amazing opportunity to go against Team Taco Bell and kind of prove himself as a fantasy team, but again, fell very short. Team Taco Bell, the game was in Team Taco Bell Stadium, ladies and gentlemen, so the Air Raiders weren't really prepared for those. Some have estimated it was standing room only. We all know Team Taco Bell Stadium can hold at least 500,000 fans. With the standing room only, that actually doubles to 1 million fans, 1 million screaming fans at Team Taco Bell Stadium. The Air Raiders were just not ready for that. Only managed to score 60 points, which I believe is one of the lowest we've had so far this year, which is really it's just a shame because the Air Raiders had so much potential. So number 4, we have the Air Raiders with 13 points. Next, we have Team Leroy Jenkins. John Haley, great performance this week. Scored 180 on Team McD. John seems to kind of care about fantasy football now, ladies and gentlemen, and so that's why we see him up from 4 to 7. It looks like he was kind of carried by Mitchell Trubisky. Don't necessarily expect to see that same production out of him moving forward. I think that's why we see him here at number 4 and not further up on the list. But, solid production all around. Still has Todd Gurley, who's great at fantasy. We all know that. And really just kind of a solid team for Team Leroy. So excited to see what he can do moving forward. Right now, smack dab in the middle on number 4. Next, we have Ryan's Steakhouse. I don't think this is a surprise to anyone. Ryan's Steakhouse is either at the bottom of the elite tier, at the top of the great tier. This is a team that a lot of people, the committee was very high on from the start of the season, saw the potential in the Falcons and kind of investing heavily into that team. Exceptional production out of everyone on the Falcons. I'm looking at it right now. Ryan's Steakhouse is starting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Falcons players and managed to score 178 points. That's ridiculous. Great win this week over Team Taco Bell for Ryan's Steakhouse. But, as long as the Falcons keep rolling, Ryan's Steakhouse is going to stay productive in this league. Has the number 3 spot locked down, it seems, again, at the very top of that great tier. This week, Ryan's Steakhouse is playing the Air Raiders, so pretty good matchup. Right there. So with 21 points, we have Ryan's Steakhouse. And right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is the big reveal. Will Team Dunkin, the People's Champ, finally get that number 1 ranking? No, he will not, ladies and gentlemen. With a score of 27, Team Dunkin Donuts, despite being 4-0, despite scoring the highest points this week, did not top the power rankings. Team Dunkin had a great win this week over who did Team Dunkin play? It was Team Whataburger. He destroyed Team Whataburger. 192 points out of Team Dunkin. And, I keep saying, ladies and gentlemen, that these performances out of Alvin Kamara are just, flashes in the pan, but he just keeps getting them just all the time. So I guess they're not flashes in the pan. Did get a little bit of extra production out of his tight end, Jared Cook, but, these are mostly performances we'd expect moving forward. So Team Dunkin will continue to score high, but I guess can't match the overall production of Team Taco Bell with 29 points, only missing one first place vote. At 4-0, Team Taco Bell remains at the top of the power rankings this week, absolutely destroying the Air Raiders. 159 to 60.7, almost a 100-point victory. Great playing out of Team Taco Bell. Still left a lot of points on the table. Cleveland D got him -3. Juju Smith-Schuster not producing how he usually does. So also a lot of players coming off of suspension this week in Mark Ingram and Julian Edelman. So Team Taco Bell has a lot of potential in fantasy, and I think that's why we're still seeing him here at number 1. But ladies and gentlemen, next week we will have an undisputed number 1, because we will see the matchup between Team Taco Bell and Team Dunkin Donuts is this weekend. So get your popcorn ready, ladies and gentlemen. Stay watching on the Fantasy Cast. And that will be it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the Week 5 Power Ranking.